Hey, what's up, guys? Ron Harris here. Hope you're having an awesome Saturday. Haven't gone live in a while, aside from contest reports, wrap-ups, because we have a contest or two every weekend. This weekend, we actually have two contests, two pro shows. I did a preview of them both on this channel a couple days ago. Vancouver Pro is happening in Vancouver, British Columbia tomorrow. And, of course, it's either today or tomorrow. I think it's a two-day show. The Atlanta Pro, Linda Murray's promotion, which has a few divisions, but most prominently the 212. Very exciting matchup between Bo Lewis, Kareth Baggio, and David Henry, among others. And of course, up in for Vancouver, we have quite a star-studded lineup. John Jewett, Beef Stew, Tim Budesheim, a lot of good guys, Robin Strand. But I wanted to start off this live with a question that I got. It was actually a comment question on another video or post or something. Had nothing to do with the subject matter, but I thought it deserved some sort of recognition, and let's get into it. So someone had asked me if Lou Ferrigno hadn't left bodybuilding after the 1975 Mr. Olympia to become a TV star on The Incredible Hulk, could he have won 10 Mr. Olympia titles? That's a good question. I do believe he would have won at least one. So let's take a look at how Lou Ferrigno looked in 19. Maddie. Let's look at the difference though here. No, wrong one. And that's what good posing is. Good posing is about making it look easy, making it look like you and having a good time, not just making it look like you're having a good time. You are having a good time up there because all the hard work's done, all the training, all the diet, it's all done. Now it's your chance to show it off, showcase it. So why wouldn't you want to take your time, hold the poses, give everyone some nice smooth transitions, smile. Lou didn't smile once when he was up there. He had like tried to do a little smirk. So let's take a look at when he came back. First, this was the FIBO in 1993. He had come back at the Helsinki, Finland Olympia the year before after 17 years away. Didn't do very well. So here he had put on a lot of size in those years in between. He competed at this Olympia around 315. That's what he claimed. So here he was probably somewhere around 340 or 350. But remember, we're talking about a man who's 6'5". Still a lot of mass, a massive, massive guy. But you could see his midsection got a lot bigger along with everything else. And I'm not going to speculate. Was it growth hormone, insulin, the way he trained? I don't know. But his midsection did get a lot thicker. In poses like this, where the midsection is covered like a crab, you're not really paying attention. The side shots, as long as he holds in the gut, still pretty impressive. Don't get me wrong, guy. Lou had one of the greatest chests. He had great biceps. Imposing figure. And through his portrayal of the Incredible Hulk, he inspired millions and millions of people around the world to start training, even though he was covered in green. So this was actually a pretty famous guest posing appearance. It was Germany, 1993. He had come back at the Olympia the previous fall. And, of course, at that point, it was Dorian's first win. Nobody was beating Dorian, so we're not arguing about Lou being able to win in this era. There's no way he would have been beating Dorian Yates. So people would say, well, he's so much bigger than Dorian. People don't know. And this was a very off-season Dorian, not very lean. And, yeah, you could say Dorian's midsection wasn't that small here either. This was full-blown off-season for him, definitely. But the way he came back, he had the size and he would come back. We'll take a look at him at the Olympia that year. So he had come back the year before at the Olympia. And yeah, he just doesn't have a great V-taper. He's got a wider waist. Your bone structure doesn't change and your waist doesn't get better as you get older. It usually gets worse. It gets thicker. Yeah, legs were bigger here than they had been when he was a younger guy. They still don't match his upper body. Still didn't have the leg development to hang with these guys. I mean, this Olympia 93, it was Dorian Yates first, Flex Wheeler second. It was entirely, there's his wife, ex-wife now, Carla in the audience. Still had one of the greatest chests ever. Phenomenal. But I don't believe, and he had calf implants. Look at that. Those are implants. They were perfectly round, not diamond shaped like a calf would be. Those are calf implants. And the following year was the initial Masters Olympia, which most people believe Joe Weider created specifically for Lou Ferrigno so that he could get his Mr. Olympia title. at long last, because he had waited too long to make a comeback. And by that time, the sport had moved on. He was in his early 40s here, which isn't really a big deal. But the fact is that the sport had evolved and the competitors were just better shape, structure. They weren't missing any body parts. Everything flowed. And the conditioning, this was pretty darn good conditioning. It's not spectacular conditioning. And, you had guys like Dorian showing up with crazy condition. Let's see if you guys are talking about this or you're talking about something else. Your view on changing exercises. How are you? I'm doing fine. Simon Stevens, hi Ron. What's your view on changing exercises from time to time? So we have this belief, and I've done my part in fostering this belief, which may or may not be accurate, that our muscles adapt to the same exercise if we do them over and over again. And if you want to keep your gains coming, if you want to keep the muscles guessing, then you would have to switch up the exercises, hit them from completely different angles. But then we look at somebody like Ronnie Coleman. And I know Ronnie Coleman's not the greatest example because he's an outlier in so many different ways. Genetically, forget about 1 in a million. I think Ronnie was more like 1 in a 50 million, 100 million. I think he was that rare. His genetic gifts for everything were just off the charts. But Ronnie did the same exact workout. Brian Dobson at Metroflex, when Ronnie joined that gym in 1989, Brian put him on a workout program. It was working out, I think, 6 days a week. He hit every body part twice a week. The first day was all barbells, mostly barbells. Second day was dumbbells and some cables. He did that workout for 20 years without changing a thing, and he kept progressing and progressing. So I don't think you really need to switch up exercises, particularly if you have found exercises that work very well for you, because we're all going to have, due to our unique structures and nervous system, tendon attachments, muscle bellies, we're all going to have certain exercises that we respond better to. If you find those exercises and you keep making progress on them and the body parts you're training, for example, if squats are the exercise that you love, they make your legs grow and you're getting better at them over time and your legs are growing, why would you switch up? There's no need to switch up. I tend to keep a lot of the same exercises in my routine. Even when I was younger, there were certain movements that I had that just gave me a really great feel, a great pump, and I could tell they gave me great results. Like for chest, for many years, incline dumbbell presses most of the time, incline barbell presses about 1/4 of the time, flat dumbbell presses, and a couple machines, a couple hammer strength machines. Didn't change it for a good 20, 25 years. That would be my chest routine. My chest kept getting better and better. There was no reason to switch it up. I would lay off exercise from time to time. If you're getting sick of them psychologically, if you're not making any progress on them, take them out of the rotation for a few weeks, bring them back and see what happens. See if now the muscles are brand new, fresh to them. They're getting a different stimulus because you laid off that particular exercise. Like if you don't do chin-ups for a long time, I guarantee you they're going to be much harder when you get back to them than they were. And your back will probably get sore again because it's a different movement pattern than lat pull downs or machine pull downs and things like that. All right, so I hope I answered that one. Let's go back. Who'll be your number one uncrowned Mr. O? Oof. Man, I mean, I would just, all three of those men are amazing. I would go with Flex Wheeler. I loved Flex's physique. Saw him from the very beginning. I saw him from his late amateur days all the way through his prime and his comebacks and retiring and all that. And I think he had a damn near perfect physique. He came close a few times. He didn't come close as many times as Sean and Kevin. Kevin had 4 runner-ups. But I would go with Flex just because it was just an astonishing physique, damn near perfect structure, shape, mass. He just got stopped by some really great guys. He had to go up against Dorian Yates and then Ronnie Coleman, and they were very, very tough to beat. You could say the same thing about Kevin and Sean. If it hadn't been for Dorian Yates and Ronnie Coleman, or for Dorian Yates, let's just leave it at that, Sean would have been Mr. Olympia at least once. Kevin would have been Mr. Olympia at least once. So let's go. And thank you so much for your contribution, and appreciate it. Prescribed Clomid 50 mg 3 times a week by urologist after my first cycle. 4 times got blurred vision, eye floaters. 12 weeks, so sorry. Yeah, it's scary. I did a show with Dr. Thomas O'Connor, the anabolic doc, years ago. This is probably like 4 or 5 years ago. And he had a patient who, I don't want to scare you, but it was a young college athlete, college football player, I believe. He went blind temporarily. I believe it was for a period of 6, 8, 10 weeks, something like that. He did get his vision back. I'm not a doctor, so I don't want to give you medical advice because I'm not qualified for that. But obviously, you stopped taking the Clomid. I would see a physician. I don't want to give you medical advice. You need to see. I would start with your general practitioner and get a referral. You might need to see an ophthalmologist, the one that they deal with the doctors of the eye. They're different from an optometrist. Ophthalmologist. I'm probably saying this wrong, but it's an eye specialist. I would let your doctor know what's going on. I'm not going to give you medical advice because I would be way out of my element there. I'm not qualified, but you definitely need medical attention. If it's not getting any better, 12 weeks, it's not going to get better on its own. Maybe it will, but I wouldn't take that chance. I would go contact your general practitioner. Contact your urologist and let them know what happened. And the specialist that he or she refers you to based on that, hopefully we'll have some answers for you. That's awful. But don't wait. I know today's a Saturday. I don't know if you can go to most of us have these patient portals now. Maybe you can send them a message or an email, your urologist. Leave a message because this is dire. This is something you don't want to wait on this. Sorry that happened to you. Kalyan Krishna, thank you. Appreciate you saying that. Dave Thomas, I'd like to know what your original bodybuilding goals were and did you go on to achieve them? So, original goal was, 1989 when I did my very first show. I was natural. I stayed natural and stayed competing in natural federations and events for 6 more years after that. And I would return to NPC tested shows later, but still my goal was to win a show, my very first goal. But I wouldn't even say that was the goal. The goal was to have a look, to be really big and muscular compared to my starting point. And, they're firing up. I gotta shut that window. So just fired up a lawnmower. Yeah, I'm gonna go to my Facebook and show you what I look like when I not really started training because I was already training at this point, half-ass. I mean, training at home, training at a boys' club. I'm going to go to my old school pick. Yeah, here we go. Okay, so let's take a look. This is Facebook. All right, so this was June of 1987. I was 17 years old. I had just graduated high school a week or so before this picture. You can see I was lean. I was athletic. I wrestled in high school. Did a little martial arts, but wrestling mainly. So I was lean. I had been lifting all 4 years of high school, but I hadn't done anything for legs yet. I think you can see how skinny my legs were at that point. Did a lot of crunches and stuff. I did a lot of push-ups, curls, bench presses. I did lying skull crushers on my couch with my head off, with my feet up on backwards on the couch. Anyway, this wacky shit. Didn't know how to do anything else. Didn't know all the exercises, but this was my starting point. I wanted to be big and buff. This is that fall at UCSB. I'm still either 17 or maybe I just turned 18. I turned 18 while I was starting my first semester at UC Santa Barbara. Yeah. Same year. This is a few months later. By this point, I'm using only Nautilus machines. I just wanted to get big and freaky like the guys in the magazines. I had a copy of Flex magazine that had come in the mail free because I had bought a Weider weight gain powder. Now we're into 1990. So that's natty, and this is not natty. I achieved my main goal, which was to become big, muscular, so people could look at me and know I was a bodybuilder. And I did do that. Did I get as big as the guys in Flex magazine, the other magazines? No, I never did get as big. I get that look like a real pro. You know, it's this Natty 1995. So yeah, my goals, it's tough to say. Because later I could say my goal was to turn pro, and I never turned pro. But I did get my main goal, Dave, which was to have a look, to be big and muscular and look like a bodybuilder. Because the starting point, I wish I had some pictures. I don't have a lot of pictures when I was older, or younger, I should say. But I was, that first picture, that was 4 years of lifting. So you can imagine that was about 130 pounds. I started high school. I just started lifting, kind of messing around at home the last year of junior high, which for me was 8th grade. But I started high school fall of 1983. At September 83, I was 95 pounds. So, eventually my highest body weight was 247. So I more than doubled my body weight. So my main goal was achieved. Other goals I had didn't achieve. I always wanted huge arms. I never got huge arms. Wanted to win a show. I did win a show eventually. I won my class a few times, and I won 1 overall. In all 24 years of competing, I only got 1 overall. And I placed top 5 at the national level. Let's see. 2011 Team U, I did 2nd in the open heavyweights, and I was 3rd in the masters over 40. And then 2013, I got top 5 in both again. I got 5th in the open. And oh no, that was just masters. I wasn't open in 2013. My bad. So 3 or 4 times. Anyway, yeah, I didn't achieve all my goals. Obviously, never got the giant arms, never got the pro card, but very, very grateful that I was able to achieve what I did with my physique. A lot of people never looked as good as I did. I never looked as good as a lot of other people, but you got to be grateful for what you have and what you were able to achieve instead of crying about all the stuff that you don't have and you never got. I try to live my life with that attitude of gratitude. So I find I'm a lot less miserable that way. Juice question from Nanny. Thoughts on the first cycle, test only 250 a week? No. If you're going to do test, if you're going to do a cycle, that's just, that is a TRT dose for some people. Some people go as low as 100. I'm talking about people that legitimately need testosterone replacement therapy because their endocrine system, their balls no longer produce enough testosterone on their own. So their own test levels are lower than they should be, and they need to supplement it externally, inject once or twice a week. So that would be like a replacement dose, anything between like 100 and 250. I hesitate, so I'm going to phrase it this way. If I were doing a first cycle of test only, I would probably do 400, maybe 500. Let's say 400. I think 400 for a first cycle was plenty. My very first cycle ever was 2 sustenance a week. They were ready jacks. They came in an amp that was already preloaded, 250 milligrams. I did like one on a Monday and one on a Thursday. I did that for 8 weeks. I put on about 25, 30 pounds, a lot of water gain, some fat gain too. But I definitely made some crazy progress. So 400 or 500 milligrams of test. Would you need an AI to control estrogen levels? Some people don't. It's really, people metabolize it differently. And some people will get a sky high estrogen reaction to that. Their levels will go through the roof. Others, it won't really move that much. You would only know by having blood work done, say like 4 weeks into the cycle. At that point, you would know. I know it's kind of late in the game, but I don't think it's good to just tell people you should always use an AI. These aromatase inhibitors, they do have side effects. They lower your good cholesterol. They can damage your tendons. I mean, I'm having like a little muscle tear like every other week, practically, sometimes more often than that. And I believe it's because I'm on both a statin, which can weaken your tendons. It's for my heart, to keep my heart healthy. And I'm on an AI to keep my estrogen level, because my estrogen level does go high. Even now, with taking an AI on 240 milligrams of test a week and 100 milligrams of DECA, I just had my blood work done and my estrogen was at a 65, which I think anything over 50 is considered high. I've had it as high as 200 in the past, but this is on this is a level I was showing while on an aromatase inhibitor, an anastrozole. New Zealand, yeah. Never made it there. Getting close. I came close. Australia. Didn't quite make it. Is Sam Sulek the Caitlin Clark of YouTube fitness? Well, I don't know if you can really compare them accurately, those two people. So Caitlin Clark is this darling of the WNBA. I think she just got drafted, right? I don't follow men's basketball, the NBA. Forget about that, much less the WNBA. But I think what you're trying to say is, so Caitlin is supposedly just the face of the WNBA because she's cute, she's white, she's marketable. You could sell a lot of things like makeup and sneakers with her, I suppose. But I guess from what I hear, I don't know. I'm just going off what I hear people saying about her. She's not anywhere near the best player in the WNBA or the most talented, but she gets a lot more recognition and she's getting all these endorsement deals. So Sam Sulek, I guess you could say he's not as good a bodybuilder as some bodybuilders. So does he deserve all this? Well, you can't use the word success. You can't really use that word anymore. It's not a merit-based system. Social media is what it is. People follow who they want to follow. They watch videos of who they want to watch. A lot of people love the Sam Sulek videos. They're long format, no fancy editing. It's usually him talking on the way to the gym while he's driving. Then you have the workout. Then he does a little posing. Sometimes you see him eating some stuff. Very relaxing voice, very down-to-earth kid, very smart kid, an engineering student. So yeah, I mean, I don't put him down. Sometimes I make snide remarks about his fans because they don't know any better, and they're saying his physique is as good as Derek Lunsford, Hadi Choopan, Samson Dauda, Nick Walker. Even Sam himself has said in his videos, these guys are way bigger and better than me. He doesn't compare himself to the Mr. Olympia competitors, but some of his fans do, and he has millions and millions of fans. So you're saying, does he have all this fame and fortune that he doesn't deserve? Well, he does deserve it because he's giving the people what they want. If you can deliver something to the public, something that they want and they want to buy or listen to or watch, who are we to say? I use the analogy of pop music all the time. There's pop music that I hear out and about and at the gym or whatever, driving. I think it's awful. It's awful. I would never voluntarily listen to it. But like Taylor Swift would be a good example. I don't get the whole Taylor Swift thing. But millions and millions of people around the world love Taylor Swift. Concerts are sold out. People pay sometimes $20,000 for a close seat to see Taylor Swift. So who am I to say they're all wrong? Because I don't find her music that great. They're right. They're right. The public is never wrong. So Sam Sulek, he deserves all his success because he's giving the public something that they like to consume. He's making videos that they like to watch. He's relatable, down to earth. People really identify with them, and they want to devour his content. They want to watch every video he makes, his Instagram posts and that. So yeah, I wish the kid the best. He's killing it in an industry where there's not a lot of money, at least before social media. There was a lot less money to be made. Social media has opened up a lot of opportunities for many, many bodybuilders, fit people in general. They can market themselves. They can come up with another way. They don't have to be winning contests. They can be coming up with entertaining, informative content, stuff like that. You don't need the days of winning this or that title, guaranteeing you a living. They're over. Winning a big show now, that's great. You'll get some money from that, but it doesn't guarantee you anything. A lot of supplement companies, and that's who most of the sponsors are, they would rather hire somebody like a Sam who's got millions of followers and instant marketing for them rather than some pro bodybuilder just wins a few shows, but maybe he doesn't have that huge a following on social media. Maybe he doesn't speak well. He's not engaging, entertaining. It's a business. So if you're somebody who's running a business like a supplement company, you want the most ROI, return on your investment. So you're going to go after someone like a Sam Sulek or another influencer that's got this reach and this influence over millions and millions of people who are your target market. Umair. Let's see what Umair said. It's unfair guys like you couldn't turn pro back now. What's fair? We're going to cry about it. I'm not going to cry about it. I wish I had a pro card. I'm not going to lie. I'm not one of those guys who say, I don't want it anyway. No, I wanted a pro card. I think I waited too long was a real mistake for me. Show what it looked like by the time. So I'll go back to the old school because 2002 is a pretty good indication of when I was in my physical prime between, I'd say like 32 and 40 as far as my physique. And after that, I was still pretty good, but I was already starting to get injured. But when I was 41, I tore my tricep. So this was age 32. Yeah, it was age 32, 2002. I still had that fresh look to my muscles. Nothing had torn yet. I had only been on gear for a few years. All of 97, took 98 off gear, most of 99. And then after that, it was consistent. So 2000, 2001. This is like 4 years of gear use here. It was a good amount of gear use, but my body hadn't burnt out yet. That was the first year of gear use, 97. 2002, age 32. 32. Oh, me and Lou. We were just talking about Lou. Yeah, there's that show. So this is first show. I should have started competing. I should have tried. It was way harder back then. I don't think I would have turned pro. That's a problem. You would have to take me from 20 plus years ago and put them on the stage now, because it's not as competitive, because now we have a lot of the bodybuilding talent has funneled off into other divisions. They don't all go into bodybuilding. A lot of them go into classic physique. They go into men's physique. So you would have to take me from back then, put me in the mix now. And, I'm not saying definitely would have turned pro. Who knows? I don't even know if I could have turned pro today. You never know. There's still some really great bodybuilders out there, guys. And my genetics weren't all that in a bag of chips. I was good. I wasn't great. I fully admit that. I was not great. I was pretty good. There's skinny me again. They call him mini me. Yeah. I mean, it's hard to say. But fair, I don't like to use the word fair because life isn't fair. Ooh, look how bloated I was. Jeez. Get out of that. Yeah. I mean, what would I do as a pro? I've said this before. Again, I'm not saying I don't want a pro card. If someone said, hey, we'll give you a pro card, I'd be like, all right, I'll take it. But what would it do for me at this point? And would I have ever been a good pro? No. A lot of these guys turning pro now, they do, if they even ever use that pro card. A lot of them never do. But you'll see a good amount of them. They'll do one pro show and get waxed, just smoked. And they realize, oh shit, I just got lucky with that pro card. These guys are all kicking my ass. I'm not at that level. That would have been me. I would have done a couple pro shows just because I wouldn't have wasted the card. I would have used it and I would have had fun. But the only way I was placing top 5 in any pro show was if there was only 5 guys in the show, realistically. Most pros competing have way better genetics than me, more pleasing muscle shape, structure, even more size. I mean, the size, I'm looking at the size I was in those pictures. That's not big enough for open bodybuilding even now, really. It's not. It's too big for classic as far as the weight, but the classic guys look bigger than me at that weight. So, no, I had a great time. I competed for 24 years. 30 shows, somewhere around there. Had a great time. Met so many awesome people. Thoughts on Donald's touch-up training? Big up a lot. That guy 6. I've never really consistently tried it. I have tried it. And you know what? I'm actually doing something like that now without even thinking about it. So I just got off the push-pull legs split that I've been on for, oh boy, I've been on that for about 6-7 years. At least, maybe more. And I went back to more of a bro split, chest and triceps, back, shoulder and biceps, legs. So it's 4 days, a 4-day split. But on the chest day that I don't do shoulders, I do like 4 sets of lateral raises. Because I always feel like my shoulders, the shoulders can never be big and round and full. They can never be too big and round and full. And mine aren't as great as they used to be. So anything to try to keep them a little fuller, I do. So Donald's touch-up is, just so I explain to people, when you're training anything else, say biceps are your weak point, you'll do a full bicep workout at one day during the week, and then every other workout, except maybe the day before or after your full bicep workout, maybe even on leg day, you'll start off or finish with a few sets of curls, just pump some blood in there. And Don Long did believe that increased stimulation would lead to better gains. someone like Dorian Yates would argue that's just going to overtrain the muscle. If the key to improving a muscle was to just train it more, wouldn't training it every day be the answer? Of course, when's it going to recover? We've also heard from guys in jail, prisons, that train every day, chest and arms, and they have massive chest and arms. Maybe they have better recovery because they sit around laying in their rack, their bunk, most of the day, and they can load up on as many carbs as they want. Usually they don't get a ton of protein, but they can eat as much as they want in the chow hall, the mess hall, the dining hall, whatever it's called. But I don't know. I would say anything like this, if you have a body part that hasn't responded, you have nothing to lose by trying something like that. So your full workout for it one day a week, and then maybe 2 other workouts during the week. Do a few sets for it just to keep the blood pumping in there. That'll give it like two hits, 1 major hit during the week and 2 more. I think that's plenty. Strongest bodybuilder pound for pound according to you, since you're doing this would be accurate. I mean, strongest in terms of measurable things like the bench press, squat, deadlift would either be Stan Efferding, Rhino. He wasn't like a great pro bodybuilder. He was a super strong guy. He held a lot of raw powerlifting records. Johnny Jackson was incredibly strong. Branch was very strong. I don't know, the pound for pound. I mean, how do you measure that? Jose Raymond, who I trained with many times, very strong guy. We know Ronnie Coleman was very strong. I mean, how do you measure that? If you go pound for pound, obviously some of the lighter guys would have the advantage. I mean, I see Hadi Chupan. He's probably like 240 in the off season. I see him doing some crazy lifts, like 405-pound military presses, 600-700-pound squats for reps. There's a lot of strong guys, so I don't know the strongest bodybuilder pound for pound. You'd have to have some sort of competition. Ricky Wetback. Oh no, Wetback is an ethnic slur. Is it possible to build some muscle with very little carbs, like on a keto diet? Greens from Sweden. Hey, my son was just over there for Midsummer, not like the movie, but he had a great day in Gothenburg or Stockholm. I'm sorry, Stockholm. Went to the Royal Palace and the Armory. Anyway, could you build some muscle? Yeah, because technically your body can convert fats into ketone bodies, which the body treats like carbs, but you still need to be in a caloric surplus. That's the main thing. You need to be taking in more calories than you're expending. So what that means is if you're eating 2,000 calories of food every day and you're expending 2,000 calories, you're not going to gain anything. You need to up the calories. I don't know why you'd want to avoid carbs. If you're trying to stay lean, then you really shouldn't be worried about putting on muscle, because if you're trying to keep your body fat very, very low, and that's the typical reason why people go on low carbs like you're doing, that's when I see people keeping their carb intake very, very low. It's not a conducive environment for gaining muscle mass. I don't know why you would want to avoid carbs. Carbs are great. The glycogen that your liver glycogen, your muscles get all pumped and swollen. I mean, I have carbs every day. Breakfast, I have oatmeal with some blueberries in it with my eggs. My post-workout is whey protein isolate with either some fruit, like today I had some grapes, or I have like a little quarter cup of raisins, or I used to have like sugary cereal. So I'd have fast carbs right after the workout, chicken and rice in the post-workout meal. I do a turkey cheeseburger on a potato bun with a big apple. That's another meal. Next meal after that is ground turkey with some salsa and tortilla chips mixed up together. The only meal I don't have carbs is my last meal of the day, which is either a sirloin patty and vegetables with some mixed unsalted nuts, or a salmon fillet. So that last meal of the day, but that's 6. If you count the shake as a meal, that's 6 meals, and I'm having carbs with all of them but 6. So I don't think you should try to restrict your carbs that way. If you're really trying to put on muscle, get some carbs in there and don't worry about staying super lean. You need to be in that caloric surplus. You need to be taking in more calories than your body needs. Obviously, you don't want the surplus to be too great. Then you're going to start accumulating body fat. You don't want that. But keep it nice. Keep that balance in there where you have enough carbs to gain, but you're not eating so much that your body's converting a lot of it as storing a lot of extra as body fat. You don't want that either. Kalyan Krishna, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Love from India. Yeah, I just saw an awesome movie. Monkey Man. directed by and produced by Dev Patel, who was the star years ago of Slumdog Millionaire. Great action movie. It's kind of like it has that John Wick feel to it, but it's a lot more stylish, beautifully photographed. He's amazing in that movie, Dev Patel. Check that out, Monkey Man. Right now it's on Paramount Plus streaming. That's where I saw it. But thank you so much, Kalyan. I appreciate you. And, we have a lot of viewers in India. I have a lot of viewers. MD did too when I was with MD. It's a nation where bodybuilding has really taken root and become very, very popular over the past 10, 20 years. They've always had a tradition of bodybuilding and strongman and lifting and things like that. But, the Bollywood movies now, you're seeing a lot more big muscular guys and just people who are in great shape in general. Neil Hill, the great coach, he was over there for a full year training Bollywood actors, getting them in great shape for movies. So thank you again, Kalyan. I did watch your episode with the kid going blind. Oh, already went torn up most. Imagine great shape. So my brain get used to floaters. Sounds like they didn't know what was going on, so they just left you alone. Huh. Yeah. I mean, if it's a case where your eyes, they can find nothing structurally, physically wrong with your eyes, and you're not taking the Clomid anymore. I mean, I would just really hope for the best. I hope it resolves itself. Hope you feel much better, because that's awful. I mean, I feel bad for that kid, the young guy. He did actually recover and he was fine, but that's scary. That's why clomiphene's not used that much. That's like an old school. Like back in the day, that would be my PCT, because I was a moron. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I think I would do 20 milligrams Clomid for every day for 30 days after I finished a cycle. And that was my whole PCT. No HCG, nothing else. I didn't know any better. Great show. Thank you. On Siret Smagom. What's the best exercise for glutes? Struggling to activate mine. So I think squats are the best exercise, or barring that, leg presses. Leg press with your feet up high on the platform. So if this is your platform, you don't want to be right in the middle. You want to be a little higher up than the middle with your feet. And you want your feet to be a little higher than shoulder width. And you want to push. This is a foot, not a hand. Push from the heel, and you'll be activating more glutes. Of course, most gyms now have, a lot of gyms anyway, have the hip thrust machine, the one where you got the belt across there and the weights over here. And, the women are always looking like they're humping the air. That's pure glute activation. Most gyms also have those glute kickback machines. Butt Blaster used to be a big brand name, where you're kicking back with the leg. But I think between squats, one of those kickback machines, a hip thruster, and leg presses, you should be able to really develop your glutes as much as they're capable of developing. Can you get a lean, rip nice physique naturally? Yes, absolutely. I mean, this is my album again. I'm going to show you what I look like naturally. This is old school. I'm going to go up to I'm going to find a good picture, guys. Sorry. Yeah, okay. So show you what I look like naturally. This really was natural. I don't know why people doubt it, because I wasn't that great. I never said I was. So this is me at age 25 naturally. That's off season. Oof, natural. I think I look pretty good. That was me age 23 naturally. Not natural. Okay, so I know which one I want to find. I just want to go to one montage picture. Where's my montage? I think it's a good example. Oh, did I put it in the other album? I guess I did. My bad. Oh, I did. My Facebook is public, by the way. I don't know if that's smart. But yeah, you can certainly get. So this was. All right, I had used gear there, so that's not fair. I'm not gonna use that. I had used gear prior to that picture in the past, so that doesn't count. To me, once you've used gear, even if you stop, you're not natural again, because you're not losing all the muscle that you had on gear. But this was after I had been off gear for about a year, almost a year and a half. But I'm not lying. I built some of this muscle had been built with drugs, and even though I was off the drugs, I wouldn't have looked this good without the drugs, had I not used the drugs for a few years prior to that. So I don't want to claim that I did. Oh man, where's that montage picture? I know it's there. Just a good example of what you. Oh, here we go. Dumbass. Call myself a dumbass. So that was me naturally, age 25. Not a mass guy. I was 181 pounds here at 5'8". I think I look pretty good. You know, I had decent shape, decent size, not huge, but you know, I was drug free for life. I'd never touched anything there. Stop screen. I don't think Ramy looks that bad. I think people are exaggerating how bad he looks. I'm going to show you. Let's go to Big Ramy's latest update. Search Big Ramy. Big Ramy. Okay. All right. Let's go. Screen. All right. So people were basing that on this video from 3 days ago. Looks pretty freaking huge to me. Now, he might be retired. I don't think he's doing this year's Olympia. I think we would have heard about it by now. He still looks like a pretty big dude to me, doesn't he? All these people who are saying he looks, you know, he's not downsized or anything. I don't know what he's doing there. He's showing himself at this club. Oh, I don't even know what country this is. Is this Egypt? I don't know. He's showing an ad for some gym in Egypt, I guess. Yeah, he still looks pretty big to me, but he might be retired because what else has he got to prove? That was 9 weeks ago. It was 12 weeks ago. But he puts up a lot of videos where you don't know how old the videos really are. Yeah, like Giles says, when was this? And someone says this is 2017, and he just posted it a couple months ago. So I don't think he's retired. I mean, he might be retired. The pictures don't really give us any indication, but the Olympia is coming up. Of course, he doesn't need an invitation. He doesn't need to qualify. Mr. Olympia winners are qualified for life to do the Olympia, so we might see him in it. My gut says he's probably retired. He accomplished everything he possibly could have. Got 2 Olympia titles. He won the New York Pro twice. Never won an Arnold, but I mean, 2 Olympias. Millions and millions of fans all over the world. He's got nothing left to prove. If I were him, I would be retired. I bet if you're a competitor during this period of time, you'd be a fierce competitor to the multitude of advances in their own body. Yeah, Kalyan, thank you for saying that. I don't think I would have had the mass. I mean, I'm 5'7.5" now. I've lost a little height, but most of the guys at that height at the national level, they're heavyweights. And I was a heavyweight, but I was like between 201 and 205 pounds was my best weight a few times. And I was up against guys in that division, heavyweight division, who were right there at the line. They were 225 ripped, same height as me. So they had a good 20 pounds of muscle on me at the same height. And it's bodybuilding and size does count. So I don't think I would have done that well. Who knows? We'll never know. What's the biggest thing you miss from about bodybuilding? Back in our day, career today, from camaraderie and so on, the whole gym went to support them. Yeah, I guess I just miss the it's become so not faceless, but impersonal because everyone's on their phones and we're talking to people we've never met. We're interacting with people around the world on social media, and we have YouTube and we have all these great things. But there's something to be said for the time when it was an in-person thing. You know, you're getting ready for a show. Like I used to go to this gym in Pasadena in the 90s. It was a world gym, then a Gold's Gym. There were a good amount of us there competed, 20 or 30 of us at different times. And whenever a few people getting ready for shows, we would all pose together out back. There was an outdoor workout deck with a big mirror along one of the walls. We'd go out there like around sunset when the light was just killer. And we would all practice our posing together and critique each other, cheer each other on, give each other crap. It was awesome. We went to the shows together. You know, we were all young guys in our 20s and 30s. It was a different era. But I just missed that in-person aspect to the sport where you had to go to shows, you had to go to gyms. You didn't have this impersonal thing where you could have access to everybody. It was a much smaller sport, much smaller world in that sense. It was more of like, I hate to say cult, but more of a niche where people had to be really, really dedicated to be part of the bodybuilding world and to be bodybuilders, where now you can kind of be like a casual fan. If you were a fan back then, you were a fan. You got your ass out to the contests and, you know, out to the seminars to meet your favorite bodybuilders. It's not like that anymore. Sam Selleck is like listening to an audiobook. Most bodybuilding YouTubers exactly the same. Pretty boring. Always trying to sell you something. Or worse, Simpson doubted, dull, boring. Yeah, I mean, they're not all exciting to listen to. I get that. Richard Simmons died moments ago. Wow. Jeez, that's awful. Rest in peace. You know, obviously he was not part of our world with bodybuilding, but he was an advocate for losing weight, getting people healthy, sweating to the oldies, doing aerobics, exercise. He was someone who was trying to get people in shape, and that was his life mission, to get obese people to lose weight and to get more fit and live longer, healthier lives. So rest in peace, Richard. Ben White, that's right. Ben White was super strong, still is. Yeah, mainly in the bench press. I believe he was an incredible bench presser. I want to say he could bench press 600 pounds raw. I'm pretty sure he did that. Yeah. Thanks for doing these, William Reed. No relation to Karen Reed. I'm sure your pics, thanks, are great. Thank you, Jennifer. I mean, I'm on Facebook. I'm one of the many Ron Harris's on Facebook. It's public, so anybody can go stalk them. Favorite Indian bodybuilder? I mean, there aren't that many, are there? There was a guy back in like the 80s. What was his name? Prem Chand. Prem Chand, he was a pro. If I can find pictures of him. I wonder. I wonder if he's got an interview. I wonder if he's still alive. He did like, I believe he did the Olympia a couple times. Let's see. Yeah, you know, haven't been a ton of bodybuilders coming out of India. I hope I said the name. I think I got the name right. Premchand Mr. Universe. Wow, that's good. Premchand Dagra. Oh yeah, here we go. Yep. Here he is. Yeah, I remember being impressed with this guy when I saw him in the magazines a few times. I believe he did do the Mr. Olympia. So his name is Premchand Dagra. Degra. Yeah. Won the universe. You know, we had a lot of guys from places like India and the Middle East and Southeast Asia for years that were excellent bodybuilders, but they kept their amateur status because their governments in some places, especially the Middle East, would sponsor and support them as long as they were staying amateurs and representing their nation in international competitions. And once they turned pro, they would cut them off. They were on their own. So, because they wanted them to bring glory to the country by winning the gold medal at things like, you know, the Asian Games or the World Amateur Championships, things like that. Slumdog. Yeah, I mean, it got Best Picture. And, you know, not for no reason. It was a great picture. Joe Roblov. Hadi shows up 24 Olympiads, did the Arnold Darkest things last year, so he better. Can Hadi regain his title? Of course he can. Of course he's capable. But what makes you think for a minute that Derek's going to look the same as he did last year? They both have the same coach, Hani Rambod. Hani is all about improving these guys. He works with them all year. Off-season to him is just as important, if not more important, than the contest prep. So I'm sure, you know, whatever Derek's issues, he's always trying to get better quad sweep. Back is phenomenal. Trying to get more detail across the chest, the shoulders. So he'll be working hard on that. I don't think Derek is going to look exactly the same as last year. I believe he's going to be improved. So it's going to be a battle. This guy looked at making natural food you pretty much eat every day. Chicken and rice. As a bodybuilder, if you don't like chicken and rice, you know, you're missing out because that's just like one of our core meals. I believe, to me, that's like chicken breast and white rice. To me, is the perfect post-workout meal. Love it. Have that every day. But I eat the same foods every day. My protein sources every day are eggs, chicken, ground turkey, sirloin burger or salmon, and whey protein isolate. That's it. That's all I need. Hey, Ron, Irfan, Azimi. I'm hitting my biceps twice a week. I'm still not seeing much muscle definition. Could this be water, potentially skin? Well, if you're not seeing definition, that's typically your body fat, Irfan. You just need to get leaner. So if you got very, very lean, if you got your body fat very low, which is caloric restriction coupled with some cardio to increase your activity level, so you're burning even more calories and you're getting more into that caloric deficit, you're getting leaner, you'll see more definition. I don't know if it's water retention. Typically, people only hold water, like abnormal amounts of water, if they're on some medication that causes water retention. Loose skin, you typically only have loose skin if you used to be overweight and, the skin was stretched out and now it's retracted to a smaller size. So if you used to be very, very overweight and you lost a bunch of weight, could be loose skin. You could be retaining water from some medication, or you eat a lot of salty foods, or you could just be, carrying more body fat than you could. But if you get leaner, you'll see more definition. I don't think he's wrong. I don't think he's coming back either, Charlie. I don't think he's. Thank you. Yeah, the hair is coming in. I can't complain. Yeah, Istanbul. They did their job. Yeah, because this was very, very thin a couple years. Well, even up until they did the surgery, the transplant, late January. It adds a little primo to TRT. Yeah, a lot of people do that, William. A lot of people do that. A lot of people do that just so they don't have to use that. That's a lot. You'd be surprised. Test and Deca is, that's the peanut butter and jelly of stacks. But a lot of guys, especially in the last, I'd say 10 years, have moved on away from Deca and onto Primo bowling. Test and Primo for an off-season stack seems to work spectacularly for a lot of people. And they find that if they're using, enough Primo bowling, so if they're doing I'm just throwing out weird numbers here. If they're doing 800 milligrams of test a week and 400 milligrams of Primo, which is like a 2-to-1 ratio, they find that they don't need to use an anti-estrogen, aromatase inhibitor, an estrogen blocker, anything like that. It manages the estrogen enough on its own, the Primo bowling. So. No, I never compete against Dave Palumbo. No, he was always much heavier than me. Always. Yeah. I mean, the heaviest I ever was in any kind of shape was 208. Dave was competing around, I want to say 260 to 275, maybe more. So no, we were never in the same, never even in the same contest. He did the real national level. I was doing he was doing the universe and he was doing the USA and nationals, North American. I never did any of those shows. I did the team universe and the universe and the Masters Nationals. So Dave did much tougher shows than me. I never did those really tough pro qualifiers, the open ones. Thank you, M12. Appreciate that. Martin Fitzroy versus Rafael. Oh, boy. I mean, Hunter's done the best. Hunter's been 4th place at the Olympia. None of these other guys have. Martin's never done the Olympia. Rafael, I think the best he's done at the Olympia is 10th. I'd go with Hunter. Rafael right now, I think he would edge out Martin. I'm not really sure. I'd have to see them next to each other. But I'd probably go Hunter, Rafael, Martin. Forgot about that bit where I never had phones, social media, rely magazines. Yeah. It was more exciting to me, Dave, to wait for the magazine. Here's the Olympia happened in September. I had to wait till October to go to the newsstand, like a month later, to finally see some pictures of the Mr. Olympia contest that happened a month before. These guys, these young kids today, they can't imagine that. They get the pictures instantly, video clips instantly, web stream, everything is instant. Back then we had to wait. It was a different world. Prem Chandagar is the only bodybuilder from India to compete the crown jewel in 1989. Yeah, he was in 89 Olympia in Rimini, Italy that year. The Olympia was in Italy. Yeah, he was very good. Very good. I've seen a copy of 6 months pharmacist. I don't know if you can send it to me legally. Hit me up on Instagram though. My Instagram is the same as this channel's name, Ron Harris Muscle. But yeah, I don't say no to free crap, man. Are you kidding me? Silly Ron. But yeah, hit me up, Levon. I don't know if I can get through. I don't know. I don't know if it would get here without customs. I don't know if I could pick it up from customs without going to jail. Predicting the Open 212 with hiding Sean Clear will retain their titles. Well, Sean doesn't have his title. Keon Pearson is the champ. Forgot about him, didn't you? Keon's looking pretty crazy. Sean's looking pretty crazy. Sean could get the title back. Stranger things have happened. Why not? But yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, man. I'm reading that too fast because I'm already looking at the clock. So you're saying they'll get their titles back because you're right. You're right. They both lost their titles last year. It could very well happen, Joe. I wouldn't be surprised at all. I have to get going. I have to watch Branch. Walk Branch, not watch Branch. 148 to 1cc, anything about adding half a cc premium overnight with it. Well, I can't tell you to take steroids, William. 1cc a night. 1cc would give you, if you're doing 1cc, test usually comes in 200 milligrams per mil, so that would be 200 milligrams every night. cc of Primo. I mean, if you want to add a little Primo that's half of whatever on a test, a lot of people have been very successful with that. Sure. Couldn't hurt. All right, guys. If you like this, guys, I'm going to get going. Please subscribe, like, share, ring that bell. Late night tomorrow, I'll probably do a wrap-up of the Vancouver show. So please turn on the notification bell so you know when we have new content coming out. Got to go walk the dog. And I want to see the new movie, Long Legs, later with Nicolas Cage. My son, we're going to check that out. So thank you so much, guys, for watching. Appreciate it very much. And I'll see you right here next time. Later.